Midnight Rider. How you doing? Thanks for joining me today. Grab the tabs below or join me on Patreon for this and many other Dougified guitar lessons. So what I like to do is present classic songs, or any songs really, on acoustic guitar, but I'm going to try to add in the solo or the fills so you can play it on an acoustic gig or by yourself. So let's get started. The beginning of this tune starts with a triplet. It's a D5 chord here. And a little bit of hybrid picking. So pick, middle finger, ring finger, and that's on the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd strings. So you do the triplet, and then hit the D note, and then you can hit the chord. So triplet and 1, triplet and 1. Hard to get used to, but that's the introduction to the song. You can skip it if you can't get that part. Now, keep that chord there. You're going to do a hammer-on from the open 5th string to the 3rd fret of the 5th string. That'd be an A to a C. And then 2 hits on the D chord, back to the C note, and then back to the D5 chord, right? So you can use all downstrokes. And every once in a while, you can throw that. See, that's like the ah of 4. 1E and 2 and ah. A 1E and 2 and ah. If you want to feel it like that, count the rhythms. And that goes on forever. And then we have G minor 7, which is a big bar chord, 3rd fret, and then you can put your 3rd finger or your 4th finger here on the 5th fret of the 5th string. Right? Really nice G minor 7. And you're just going to 8th note it. You can go. I kind of like doing 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4, but you know, you can just do that. That sounds nice. Now you can go to a C chord next, and you can hit a C A-form bar chord like this, or if your 3rd finger's already there, you can run it down and go to a standard cowboy C chord, right? So you've got. Or if you get a little fancier on your picking, it's. Or if you like this one, variations. You like the sound of that chord better. Doesn't really matter. Then you go back there. Okay? And most people have taught that, and you've seen that probably before. But probably what you haven't seen is the Dougified guitar solo. So again, if you're on a gig or you're sitting around playing, and you're like, man, that guitar solo is so cool in that song. How do I do that if I'm just sitting out back or by myself, and I just want to keep playing through that part? Well, what I do is I take it from the upper octave, because most of the time there's an electric guitar up here, and I bring it down an octave, and then I try to hit a bass note in there and try to flesh it out so it doesn't sound so empty. So anyway, we're going to start on the 5th fret, 3rd fret, 2nd string, and then you're going to go to the 5th fret, slide up to the 7th. So. This is basically D major pentatonic, if you want to think of it like that. And then I put my 1st finger up here on the A note, so I slide back down, right? Do a little hammer on. So there's your first bit. Now what I like to do is hit the D note on that, right when I hit the downbeat, I'm going to do this with a hybrid pick. Then, 2nd finger on the B, or 4th fret, 3rd string. Then hammer on, and slide. And then at the end of 4, I hit the D note again. So it's kind of like this. And that 2nd time, it's like a question, then an answer. So the 2nd time, it just goes from the D to the E back to the D. So again. And when you speed that up, sounds pretty cool, and it gets you through the solo part without, you know, having to use a looper or whatever. Now, the next chord is C to B flat. So the rhythm guy's going like this, and then they're playing the neat parts up here. But if you can't do all that at once, I'm gonna, instead of playing the CA form like this, I'm gonna put my first finger here on 5-5-5, which is still C, and I'm gonna hit that. And then I'm gonna pick the third string, then the second string. And I'm gonna go up second finger, fourth finger on the 6th fret, 8th fret, like this. So you hit that bum. And then this would be B flat, which is the 3rd fret, and then this time it's a 3rd finger, 4th finger. And that kind of mimics the solo, right? Second time, third time. This time I go back to the B flat, but I put my 4th finger down on the 6th fret, and we do like a little build up, like a fifth. So it's 6, 5, 3, and then 5 on the 3rd string, like this. You're back to the, you know. So if you're singing, playing this by yourself, you can get through the solo part. Okay, so go to my Patreon if you like this. I got the lyrics and the chord sheets there. I've got you know, songs a little bit more fleshed out like this, acoustic guitar, and some theory, some blues, some jazz, and you know, subscribe to the channel and keep on picking out there, everybody. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.